what we've done at Azarus is that we've managed to work with Twitch together so that anyone who's watching a stream, we inject a wallet shows up, a game starts, and everybody who's watching the stream plays the same game at the same time. This game is on-chain, so we're able to distribute any type of rewards, NFTs, tokens, or just digital rewards. We have our own coin and a store with like 35,000 digital items. But really the core of the technology is that ability to load a wallet and that loads a game for everyone who's watching the same stream at the same time.
I'm sitting at a cafe just a few days before Token 2049 with Alex, and it's such a pleasure to talk with him about the project and what he's building in the industry. I know that you're building Azarus, and it's a gaming project, not necessarily a gaming project, but you're building within the gaming ecosystem. So tell me a bit about yourself. How did you get into Web3?
Sure. So I started 20 years ago as an engineer back in France. And kind of immediately after college, I started my first company. Over the years, I had 4 exits, Azarus actually being the last one because we got acquired by Animoca Brands a couple of months ago. And I started like getting into blockchain in 2013. I bought my first Bitcoins on Mt. Gox. Great story. So like, which is funny because like a few weeks ago, I was in Korea Blockchain Week. I met Mark, the founder of Mt. Gox. So I got to shake his hand and thank him for onboarding me into Web3 and showing me the value of having your own keys. Because nothing is that was very clear. After selling my previous company in 2016,
Are you getting any Bitcoin back, by the way?
So I ended up selling my debt. So Fortress was buying out debt like years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, a long time ago. So I did sell off well for the time and reinvested. So I think I was probably the right bet because this process has been long. So anyways, after seeing my previous company in 2016, I started building on blockchain because I kind of cool, but I really wanted to understand what can you build using smart contract, what was Ethereum about. Like that was a year with CryptoKitty, like a flood at the Ethereum blockchain. So really, really interesting times. Worked with a bunch of customers, ended up helping Upland launch, like set up their own tech infrastructure. Upland is a really cool game. They tokenize the world. So basically a monopoly where the board is the actual world and they tokenize all the parts that they can own pieces of San Francisco or different cities and flip it and play on them. So really cool game. I started Azarus about the same time with my co-founder Andrew. And with Azarus, we're kind of passionate about and really interested about the fact that people are streaming themselves gaming. And like, it is so natural now, but like back in 2016, that was new, that was popping. You had Ninja, if you remember Ninja, playing Fortnite and driving millions of people watching him play Fortnite on Twitch. So super cool. What was really fascinating for us was how this streaming was getting folks together on the same sides of the internet at the same time. And so it felt like TV, but it was not TV. You know, it's like same thing, millions of eyeballs. The difference that millions of eyeballs on the same size of the internet, and yet super passive. And also creators are always complaining how they're making money for the platform, but are they getting their fair share? So all those things got us thinking, hey, you know what? There's a space to bring interactivity, to create a better interactive components over streams and ensure that streamers and everybody who's creating value for this ecosystem is getting a piece of it. So Azarus was born in partnership with Ubisoft and Rainbow Six Siege. We launched the first iteration of our game. And it was kind of an overnight success because what we found is getting people to watch, play, and earn works extremely well, which is not such a surprise. But you launch a product, you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just full of shit and hey, it turns out that this one actually hit off.
I feel like we've been talking about the project, but could you just give me the TLDR? I said that you're building within the gaming ecosystem, but my understanding is that it's like overlaying on streams, so you enable people that are watching streams to get rewards and they can engage in further games within the stream, answer some questions and get additional points. Could you just give me the TLDR, and is that right description.
So no, you nailed it. This is exactly it. So what's really cool about what we've done at Azarus is that we've managed to work with Twitch together so that we're able for anyone who's watching a stream to inject a wallet shows up, a game starts, and everybody who's watching the stream plays the same game at the same time. This game is on chain, so we're able to distribute any type of rewards, NFTs, tokens, or just digital rewards. We have our own coin and a store with like 35,000 digital items. But really, the core of the technology is that ability to load a wallet and that loads a game for everyone who's watching the same stream at the same time. And this happens without having to install anything. There's no Chrome extension. There's no third-party wallet. It's a custodial wallet. We make it very simple to onboard the users. But that way, you literally watching, poof, the game starts, and everybody plays for usually a minute and a half. These games are very short.
Yeah.
Lots of trivia games. Sometimes different games. Like we had the Riku campaign with AT&T on the Evo tournament this summer. There was like a rock paper scissors against the Evo champion. So the guy was live on stage, just won the a fight, and was doing low rock paper scissors, which is how you decide who's P1 and P2 at the beginning of like a fighting game tournament. And so he was playing against everyone else who was watching, and you get 18, you get like gift cards.
And how do you choose the games? And when you say trivia, is it blockchain related or is it related to the game that you're watching? Let's say I'm playing Call of Duty. Would you ask me questions about that game, or could you tell me a bit more about the thought process behind it?
All of the above. So it really depends on who is paying for the rewards. Because at the end of the day, we have often most of the game is sponsored. So the sponsor decides how the game is set up. Some of the games are not sponsored; they are just running. So we've had for a long time games that are actually connected to what's happening inside the game being streamed. We had attention to question like how many shots were the streamer just achieved during that session. So all those things are possible in platform, very flexible. The biggest usage we have today is really around interactive ads with sponsor providing the rewards and providing the inject the value in the system.
Yeah.
So,
and you distribute over 2 million in rewards. So could you just explain the business model? I guess you touched upon it with like the ads and that revenue.
yeah.
But is that the main source of revenue?
Well, think about this as an ad. The way this works is that the sponsor buys Azar tokens. These other tokens have a value. It's basically kind of stable coin. So it's not like inflationary economy or whatnot. It's owing in currency. It's relatively stable. They buy the tokens. They stake them on a campaign. The campaign runs as people play along. The token gets distributed, and the distribution happens to the token basically gets split between the platform, the creator, and the user. But all comes from the fact that there is a brand who wants to reach a certain audience and is willing to invest a budget to do so.
Okay. And you recently launched Rewards 2.0. Could you tell me what does that entail and the different components of it? Because I know that that entails different pieces, but if you could give me the TLDR, and then we'll delve deeper into each component.
So there's a bunch of things. So we have first that initial store of 35,000 rewards that is trapped. So with our first reward set was really any kind of digital items, game cards, a gift card, and so on. So now with the latest evolution of the platform, we're touching actually on something I mentioned earlier, which is the ability to directly drop NFTs and tokens. So working with projects, Web3 projects that want to get the new audience engaged and kind of like you can think about it as a learning economy. If you prove that you're learning, paying attention, you get some rewards. And those rewards give you like access to the game, can be tokens, either non-fungible tokens or fungible tokens. And this is super flexible because that you have that new like space of Web3 games that are now getting to maturity, getting into a place where they're ready to go and acquire players at scale. And this is something that we can help with by leveraging what the assets they already have. So this is like what's going to. And as part of this move, we're also moving with switching chains. We used to be on EOS on our own private nodes, and now we're moving finally towards Base. So that's going to be a big change happening this week actually. hopefully this Wednesday we Tuesday. So if we're not late on Wednesday, we have our first set of games running on days that are going to go live.
And
So we'll
one
see what,
base.
because there's a bunch of chains that have really good characteristics. I like the basic system. I think they did a really really good job at building a chain that has been consistently scaling. For us, what's important is to be able to ensure a very smooth user experience. So we work with Biconomy and we're using the smart accounts. So that allows us to pay for gas. Base enables a very short, very fast transaction, high TPS, low fees. All these matches our scale. So we have 20 million unique players. So our games can scale to literally a million people doing the same thing at the same time. So for us, it's super important to be able to withstand that scale at a cost that's reasonable. So there's a cost, there's speed, and we have an entire infrastructure where, when you could think of us as kind of a layer three in the sense that all the logic is executed in nodes, and then we submit the proofs of the game that are recorded on base, and the transaction is then exchanged, like the final transfer token happens on chain.
Let's take a step back. Could you run me through the user experience? Let's say I'm someone that spends a lot of time watching professional video game players on stream, and now I want to use Azarus. So how I set up, I already have like a wallet, let's say MetaMask, so I connect it to Azarus. Could you run me through that process?
Okay,
And
you don't even need to do that. That's the beauty of it. So there's two sides of the equation. One is a streamer, one is a player. The streamer, he just goes on Azarus.io, connects his Twitch account. So we have access to the status of his feed, and enables Azarus, and that's it. It's literally done in like less than 5 minutes. Extremely simple. The user is just as simple. If you're watching that streamer that has Azarus enabled, at some point the game starts and you can start playing immediately. So what happens behind the scenes is that we're setting you up with an anonymous account and new wallet, letting you play. And then if you win stuff and you have value in your wallet, you can claim it or connect it to your existing wallet. And we have a process for that. But the whole idea is that we want you first to be able to engage and play immediately. Don't think about what's going on and figure that out later when it matters. And so that's how we were able to scale to the numbers that we have.
And could I still claim my points if I at some point don't want to have a wallet? Let's say I just want to utilize my points within the ecosystem, but I don't want to create a wallet.
Well, you don't really know you have a wallet. It's always a custodial wallet. No, actually, it's a smart accounts now, so it's a bit better than that. But it's very easy to. Yeah, so the answer is yes. You are able to play just with an email address. You sign in with your email, you get an OTP, you're there, and you're able to use your coins that you have in your wallet. But you don't have to know that it's a Web3 wallet. But yes, you can use straight out your points inside our store and get rewards. That's actually the biggest, most of our users, that's how they do it.
And what's the benefit of the blockchain component within this structure? And why did you guys decide to build a Web3 project instead of a typical Web2 project? Because it's an amazing idea, but you could have potentially executed it within the Web2 world.
So the big value that we saw when we started the project was trust and transparency. And that's one of the core value that the blockchain brings. So others saying, hey, we're distributing rewards. You've seen so many projects out there that claim they're distributing rewards, but nobody knows that they actually do it. Yeah, it's like that dirty league is secret. I know someone back in the days who used to run contests and was offering an iPhone 10, like it was iPhone 6 area, so it's like, it feels like, yeah, you ask people to do stuff and you tell them they're going to get something, but will they? So for us, it was important from the day one to be able to prove that, yes, we are being fair, we're executing this transaction, we're distributing the value. But also, whenever we play a game that's based on really like data, for instance, Rainbow Six Siege game back in the day, all this data will be notarized. So you'll be able to check why you win or not win this round, where the data coming from, and really dig into the chain. And when we started back in the days, people were really actively looking at it, and that really helped create trust that we're not trying to scam people, and this is super legit. And we actually distributing the value that we're collecting. And if you're not winning, it's because you answered the wrong answer, the wrong you pick the wrong answer.
Could you tell me about the Animoca acquisition that you mentioned earlier on in the conversation, but also what's on the roadmap for you and where you're aiming to go by the end of this year, but also by the end of next?
Yeah, so the acquisition by Animoca is super exciting for us because what we've built really over the years is an ability to work with creators, with streamers, and to onboard millions of people to Web3 in the most seamless way. But this is something that's going to be useful for any project building games, Web3 games, as they want to go to market and onboard the next million users. Everybody always thinks about onboarding the next million users. We have a lot of these guys and more. So hopefully projects that are getting to a stage of maturity and ready to start acquiring new users, we can have them out. So that's really the underlying thesis behind this acquisition. Now, when it comes to the roadmap for us, when we started Azarus, blockchain was core from the beginning, but we started in a very, I want to say, centralized way. We're running our own node. It was a private chain. But from the beginning, our thesis was like, let's start by proving and verifying that we have a use case, that people are actually engaging with the platform and we're bringing value, and then we can decentralize. So this is what's happening now. Launching the new games on Base is happening now. We still run the game engine, the game mechanics, but this is something that we're going to be decentralizing over the next couple of months. So that's the big next project. Having the logic of the games not run in our centralized infrastructure, but run on nodes that are going to be decentralized and settling straight to Base. So at the end of the process, the entire infrastructure is going to be fully decentralized. That's also something that we can see with the other initiative under the name Stream and launched by Animoca, which leverage exactly this approach and that vision of a fully decentralized overlay interactive ecosystem for streams.
Thank you. Thanks so much for the conversation. It was such a pleasure talking to you, Alex. Definitely want to learn more about the project and we'll have you on the podcast again.
100%. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.